think we're live.
We're live right now.
Yes, I think we are.
Okay, let me turn my camera on.
Yep.
Let me get into this.
Yo, what's good? It's FWC Podcast, Season 1, Episode 3. I'm dead. Season 1, Episode 3. How everybody doing today?
I'm
Also,
sick.
introduce ourselves.
Hey, what's up with your boy Yavin? What's that? We're tired. We here.
Yo,
It's your boy Walking House here.
yo, it's your boy Vern. What's good, bro?
What's good? It's your boy Dark Man.
It's Where did Sahir go that fast? He was just here.
Yeah, the
but
hotel.
I looked away for 2 seconds and he gone.
In the
But one of
middle.
y'all others gotta get on camera because I was having a rough day today. That's why I look like this.
I'm dead. Bro, I told y'all about my situation.
About to have one. What's up?
You said what?
It's about to have one. What's up? But it's about to be seamless.
All right. So let's get into our topics real quick. First topic. What do you want to talk about first? What's interesting?
Topics we got on the table.
Amir got on camera.
Okay,
Actually, I'm surprised.
I'm gonna start off with this one, right? Why don't we talk about what inspired everybody to go into their career?
All right.
Somebody start off. And Amir, why are you on mute?
I'm dead.
He said, "1
This man's
second."
still on mute.
He said, hold up.
All
He
right,
got to
somebody
get
go ahead.
together. But for me, like back in the day, I always used to be reading books and junk. And like I got really into writing and I started trying to write books too. And then one day over the summer, over the summer between 6th and 7th grade, my dad discovered Christian hip hop. And then I had a class with Rashi and he said he was a Christian rap artist. And then I lied and said I was one too. And then he wanted to hear one of my songs, but I didn't have any. So I wrote one and it was like a really good song. So I just started writing ever since then. And I found it was like a really good way to tell my story and get my thoughts out my head. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Next person.
So for me, it was at first I wanted to be a game developer because all I did when I was a kid was play video games, and then like I seen how difficult it is for real, and I felt like I didn't have the patience for it. So I had like a semi, and then I changed my career to doing music because one I played an instrument. I played the violin, and I've been playing the violin for a long time already. So I discovered maybe I should do orchestra for a career, and then I had another revelation a couple months ago. I felt like orchestra was going to be a boring career, and that wouldn't have been a good choice for me in life. So I decided to go into producing. So I'm trying to figure out how to get into that now.
Let me move from it real quick.
It'll be a journey, bro.
Yeah.
For different wrong.
Well, bro. Pretty much how this is my life. But I started out with 4 years. After that, I wanted to get in game design. Then I found out, like, well, to me, it's like the best medium to convey reality and stories. That's pretty much it.
Amir.
I would say, well, the reason why I even did anything with media or television or even going into anything entertainment was because I started out with TV when I was growing up. Like that was kind of like a third parent to me. And I guess once that started happening as I grew older, that became part of my personality, and it kind of grew into me getting more into in television and things of that nature. So when I started that kind of led me into doing a lot more writing things, whether it be a story that's fictional or breaking down, music or a movie or the culture as it sits at that point. That's just where it kind of led me to.
Mm. I think for me, it was like basically like shows, like watching like cartoons, like being young. First of all, like we should like say what exactly we do.
Yeah,
Like me,
I
like
was just about to say that.
I'm yeah, like I'm basically going into like animation. And the thing that influenced that was like when I was young, like my mom used to take me to her job, so that's how like I watched like cartoons a lot of the time. But I watched because like my mom was like a hospital, so I would watch like cartoons in the waiting room. So like I think seeing those cartoons is like what made me like interested in like wanting to make one myself. Yep, yep, yep.
Those satellite tape tunes was different, bro.
them,
Um,
them Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
bro, I used to hate when they used to have reruns, bro. That was terrible.
I don't
Which,
know.
but
I kind of like the reruns when
And
expecting them.
Am I the only one who can't hear nobody that good? I mean, I can hear Vernon good, but like nobody else.
You can't hear me.
I can hear
It's,
Amir fine.
I can hear you, but y'all like a little bit quiet. I don't know.
I'm right up on my laptop. I don't know why.
I can hear you now.
I'm dead.
So for me,
All right,
Hmm.
man. Go ahead.
like growing up, I listened to a lot of music, especially like as a kid, R&B and stuff. The stuff that my mom, the stuff that the adults in my life listen to. I grown to like it and listen to it also. And then before I played the violin, I could sing, so my granny was making me sing in the choir at church. But at some point, I got tired of it and stopped. And then I ended up playing the violin instead in school. And then like I just got good. I got good at the violin from playing in school every day. And then on top of that, I listened to a lot of music at home, whether it was R&B, video game music, or whatever I find on the internet that I enjoyed. So at one point, I figured maybe I should drop the video game design thing and do music instead because I feel like I would enjoy music more that way. So yeah,
Mhm.
Right. I got a question for you though, cause like and basically for everybody listening, in our school, like in elementary, like we was like kind of like forced to play like the violin. Do you think like being forced to do something helps you get better at it? For you?
yeah, it can, but it can because if you're forced to play something, I feel like you have no choice but to get good at it. But I feel like the only difference is that your drive, like your motivation. If you're forced to do it, you're not going to be like it's not something you want to do if you're forced to do it.
Yeah,
So I feel like the
Yeah.
the motivation is different.
yeah, yeah. So Amir, explain to them what exactly you do though.
I I dip my hands in a lot of other things, but to make it
Too
simple,
much dip on your
I would
toe. Oh.
say I dip my hands. A lot of things I'm kind of already into, but the short sweet of it is that I'm a commentator, so to speak.
Everybody's a
I'm
critic.
gonna mute this one after you talk. That's low funny.
Bro,
There's just a lot of
Amir offense, bro.
background noise. But like I said, the short and sweet of I am a commentator. That's the best way I can put it. I talk about a lot of different things that relate to pop culture or the film industry or music. That's what I've been into, and that's what's gotten me into YouTube and things of that nature. Because I've so far been able to break down a lot of things that I've had a hand in myself. Like when I say I talk about music, it's because like you guys know, because I was at that performing arts school, I was able to get into a lot of the technicalities and kind of dip into things that most people wouldn't look at. For like film, I've done short films and I've participated in short film festivals, so I can tell by what a movie looks like and break that down as well. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell, as being a commentator on things, and as well as being a content creator and on some levels.
I forgot you did short films in high school. I remember that
Yeah.
one where you was like, I remember the one where that dude had like lifted you up on a locker. That was funny.
So, but you know what's crazy? I actually won an award for that one. That was crazy. I won that same award that I won for that one. I won the following year for my PSA that I did.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
You got to work against slam.
So like I only got two awards, but that one's for solo for my PSA, and the other one's for that short film that you guys saw, which was called The Bully, which I starred in for
I
3 years.
locked
that was in high school, like what, 10th grade?
Yeah, that was 10th grade for The Bully, and for 11th grade that was that PSA.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Okay, here's my next question, right?
it back,
Who,
champ.
if anybody, who's a person that inspired you to do what you do?
Inspired or inspires like
Either
currently?
one. Okay.
Uh, the
I,
way I see it for me, I feel like I wasn't really inspired by anybody at first. I was just like, life is just. I felt like life was this river, and I was just like sitting in it, and it was just taking me along the ride. I didn't really know where I was going with it or what I was gonna do with it until I'll say a couple years ago. There was like certain artists and musicians that like their story, their like origin stories, their come up, and it kind of inspired me because they came from way worse life conditions and situations, and they managed to come up and be filthy rich and don't have to worry about nothing in the world anymore. So I feel like that inspired me to work hard, basically, just like them.
Yeah.
For me, it was, it was working on Port Shiros. So the people listening, it was a game working on ninth grade. That's when it really started. And then a lot of other things too. Like what I'm trying to get interested in music production and filmmaking, stuff like that. So really, is y'all like y'all interest?
Yeah, stuff on the
Love
side.
nothing.
Stuff on the side is the things y'all do too, like writing and drawing and well, not really animation, but drawing. I might get back into drawing again, maybe if I don't give up this time.
I'm dead.
I'm good. I felt that. I got my two logos, and that's all I draw. Even then, I suck at the new creature logo for right now, at least.
But I think as far as drawing, like when you start drawing, like the thing that really like makes you start off is seeing other people's characters. Cause like when you were a kid, all you do is draw like random characters. Like might draw like Batman, like the Ninja Turtle, like whatever. Like you
Yeah,
might like just see a character and you draw. Like when you were a kid, you just draw what you see.
yeah. Because when I was a
But
kid,
like
I used to draw. When I was a kid, I used to draw. I used to draw a lot of Mario and Sonic, and sometimes Dragon Ball Z characters. Because that was the stuff I was into as a kid.
yeah, but I
Mm-hmm.
think you get to a point like where you say like you appreciate what other people created, but at the same time you say like what can I do? Like how can I like create something? Cause it's easy to like love another person's character more than your own, basically. But like you gotta like put as much energy into your own characters than you do consuming other people's like characters, basically.
Right.
Cause like, if all you do is consume, then you ain't producing nothing. Anyway, let me move on to an interesting topic. Upload.
Interesting. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, at least I thought so.
Okay, I know Werner just like before he got on, he listened to part of DJ Khaled's album. What about you, Amir?
Where did he go?
Amir,
So you
There
said
he
about what album? I'm sorry.
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled's album. Oh boy. Uh, I would say DJ Khaled's album is. I argue personally, it has its positives. One of the things I would say positive is it brings unlikely mixes to the table, and it sees how good they work if you give it a platform. And honestly, I would say that's probably the biggest positive I take out of this. But however, there obviously some mixes don't work, and that's probably what makes this the worst thing to really imagine is the fact that even if you have these non-ideal collaborations, you still get a mess, and it's you still get messes that are created because you don't know how chemistry works sometimes. And like I said, not that I don't want to hear collaborations that are unlikely. It's just that when those collaborations turn out to be a mess and you're not really getting the chemistry out of the song, it's not really hitting you. It just sounds like a bunch of a playlist, to be honest.
But I got a
But
question.
that's but there are spots where I actually did enjoy the album.
Which ones did you think were a mess though?
Listen to that. Okay. Um. Gosh, I gotta remember because I listened to this album a few days ago. And I really didn't really pay too much attention because a lot of it you can't really take seriously. But I would say the SZA one is a bit. She's a great muse, and I would say that her voice is pretty solid in her performance, but I didn't really get much character out of it. It just was just like a kind of a background thing to me versus her other material on her album Control. So that's an example of something.
Hmm. I actually like most of the tracks on there, low key. I feel like they were good collabs. Most of like the collabs are like pretty good to me.
Is DJ Khaled even a DJ?
So he used to be. I heard there was a lot of things that he did back in the day, but um, most people know him as like the guy who kind of spearheads the project as an executive producer versus being an actual producer. If that makes any sense.
But he has like a team of people that he kind of like directs like how things like should work and what like how things should kind of like sound.
Yeah, for the most part, I wouldn't claim him as the actual producer.
So he's like the mastermind behind this group that he runs. So
Yeah.
it's still impressive.
But like here's what I'll say, right? I think like the people on there who stood out, right? First of all, like in my opinion, I think Biggest Sean's like his track stood out the most, basically. Cause like I think his like I need to take these retainers out, but I can't even talk. But I think
Yeah,
his like wordplay,
I did like Bish. I did like his. I liked his song.
cause like his wordplay is always like unique. Plus like the way he just goes at things is unique. I also like the first track, cause like the like Caribbean sound. Like I like that track, like
I feel
Jamaica.
like that was a weird song to start the album off with. Like I don't know. I felt like that should have been placed somewhere in the middle. That was my other gripe with this album.
I
That was another gripe with this album. It's so long, 50 songs. Like I feel like no album should be that long.
you should what?
I don't think
Harper.
I don't think an album should be 50 songs long.
You talking 50? It wasn't 50.
DJ Khaled's album?
Yeah, no, it wasn't
It should be
50.
the deluxe version. I don't even know if there's a deluxe version out there.
Well, on Spotify it was 50. It was 50 something songs long.
Yeah, definitely not.
How many was it? 20 something?
It
Um,
must have been something I clicked.
yeah, it definitely wasn't. It wasn't like
I thought it was
super
like
long.
Oh, never mind then. My ill. I thought it was 50 songs long.
It was. Hold on, let me see now. It was 15.
Oh
oh, it was
damn.
15.
Oh
Okay.
damn. Okay.
I'm dead.
Wasn't that long. I was just thinking like it was 20 something.
But I like here's why I like the way he started the album, right? Cause like it like parallels with the end of the album. Cause having like the same person on like the beginning and end, like it kind of like balanced out to me. So it's like he had like a lot of different songs. He had like a lot of different songs on there. Like he had like some like Spanish, like a lot of different people basically. But
Yeah.
like anyway, let's talk about the controversy. So
Okay.
basically, like it
Oh
was
yeah.
like a little controversy between like him and like Tyler the Creator because like basically on billboards like Tyler got number one, he got number two at the time. So like, but like the thing about it like that people didn't realize like because everybody thought he was just like getting mad basically. They thought it was funny, but like the thing about it is like billboards like they don't just count music sales, they also count like merch sales towards that, which I don't think should happen though. So the reason he got mad was because like they counted Tyler's but not his basically, because apparently he had like a drink, and they told him that those sales are supposed to go towards like that, but it didn't. So that's why he got mad. So like my question is like, do you think like merch sales should go towards like music?
No,
Not really.
it's merch. Like it's different, two different
It's
things.
the thing about merch is that, in my opinion, people the reason why most record labels see touring as such a lucrative ordeal is because merch and ticket sales are hand in hand. Those things create some actual money for the label. So if you pair that with music, it's just kind of like it's not really helping. It kind of makes it kind of seem like one of those bartering things. It's not really much fun,
I would say
and
But a lot of people.
I would say
it
Okay.
doesn't
ticket
create no
sales.
popularity. Yeah, ticket sales and merchandise I would see as hand in hand in touring, but I would never see that as something to use for your album.
Yeah, that's basically what a merch sale is. What I
But
think.
it's weird that like a lot of artists basically have to do that in order to get like to like a high number on the billboards. Like every artist does that.
That shouldn't be necessary in my opinion, because if you're an artist who's built up enough of your fan base and has showcased enough of your material that should warrant any person, whether they're a fan or not, to go buy your album or go stream it, then that should be the defining factor. It should not be you have to buy it, you add in this to get this when your music should. And that's the thing about when most artists back in like the 1990s or the 80s, it was just strictly, or even the 2000s, it was just like you had to actually get this record, or even how to stream it. But to add in something like that, which is mostly associated with touring, it kind of takes away a lot of the actual popularity aspect of your fan base and you as artists.
Yeah, I think. But the thing about it is right. In today's world, you can't get a number one without doing that though.
That's not true.
Bro, you will not be number one on the billboards if you don't do that. Every artist that's
But
been number one in today's world has done that. Every
that
artist.
the sad part about it is that you would think that, and that's why a lot of people don't take the top 200 as seriously as they used to, and it's because like you're doing a lot of this business strategy marketing, and it's not really showcasing the popularity of your actual material. It just shows that you can pair some merchandise with your album, and people will buy your merch, but they won't buy your album. And then when it's paired together, it's just like you're not really doing much. Like, it's your album that the music is what's supposed to make you money first, but you pair that with something else later on. But to do this new business strategy that people have been using for the past, I want to say 5 to 10 years now, it's not really it's not really showcasing popularity. It's just showcasing that you can make a quick buck out of your music.
But do you think that you can compete if you don't do it though?
You should be able to, but no. A lot of these artists can't do that. That's why pure sales is so down. And according to the IFBI, it's pure
Because
sales
even
is
like
down since then.
even a major artist, right? Like
Yeah,
a major artist that everybody listens to, right? If they didn't do it right, even if they were a major artist, right? I don't think they could be number one. Even if they're a major artist that everybody knows.
I wouldn't say that.
In my opinion, like I think that for a fact.
Like like Jay Z or Beyonce, they instantly would be able to get a number one in spite of not having to pair something with their record.
Bro, I don't know, bro. Not in today's world, bro. I don't think so.
I'll give you a good example. Like Beyonce, even though she's paired some stuff with tickets in the past, well, at least I believe so. I would say that when she did Lemonade, that pure sales still showcased at least 100,000 plus in pure sales, which is like actually buying the physical album and digital downloads. So if you pair that together, she still had a pretty solid 100,000 easy in pure sales alone, and that's not even adding streaming, which was like even more. So that gave her a number one album. So I wouldn't say that that's really a factor.
But I'm saying like right now though, I don't think that could happen. Cause like I feel like things have kind of like shifted a bit. Like artists always depend more on that. Like nowadays, like they literally have to. Like I don't think that if somebody if Jay Z and Beyonce made a collab album like right now like they did before, right? It would I don't think it would not be number one.
You know what? The cart.
If they didn't have merch combined, I don't think it could be number one
I mean,
right
even
now.
the Carters, even when they did the album, their last album that they paired together with, that didn't even go number one. I believe that
And
that
that's because they put it on what's that called?
title.
Yeah, they put it on title. Like I don't
They
Title.
still can get number one albums without pairing stuff together, and that's because
I
of
understand the reason why they put it on title, but like if you put something on title, like it's like as far as like promoting it, like that's like
it's the exclusivity of it. It's because it's Jay Z and Beyonce and how it's exclusively on title. That's the big
because
deal.
on title, like the reason why people put their stuff on title is because like it's ran by like basically black people. So like it's like supporting black business basically by putting your stuff on title. So I
And
do understand that. But as far as like promotion, like usually like if you use title like just put your stuff on title, it's like kind of hard for like because most people don't use title low key.
Not
Like
that I know of.
who got title?
My mama, she got title.
I'm dead.
yeah, I think title was a big deal mostly when around 2016, 2017. That was the big blow up of it. But other than that, I haven't really heard. I think the most utilized platform is still Spotify, I believe.
Cause even Jay Z said like he came at Billboards on the "What's Free" song by saying like basically saying Billboards was dumb basically. Cause like, he basically said like he used to look up to Billboards now like he looks at it like it's dumb.
Well, that's because the rules have been changing so drastically over the past 15 years. Like 15 years, like I want to say maybe no, I'm sorry, 18 years ago, it was pretty hard pressed to say that you can have a number one song just on radio alone. Like you didn't have to have a physical sale about the song; it just had to be on radio. And then you had like Lady Marmalade and I believe Try Again were the first two songs to ever have a number one on the Hot 100 just by having it on radio. That was said to be like unheard of, and now you can be just streaming a fully streamed album strictly, and you can go number one, which is crazy. So the rules are always repeatedly changing.
Right, but like I think the streaming has changed like everything like a lot. Cause like it's weird like it doesn't even have to be like nothing is like physical anymore. It's just like it's
Yeah,
just crazy.
Part of me doesn't like that.
Right.
Everything's digital now.
Cause like there's something about something being tangible that makes it feel more important.
Right.
yeah.
Cause like if you have like if you buy somebody like people who do actually like sell like physical like albums like if you buy it right even if you bought it today bro it wouldn't feel like the same because like it wouldn't like before like if you had like a record or something like if somebody had like a record people would like be surprised by like you have like a person having certain records because it was like rare to have certain records.
Uh-huh.
Like if you had like some Michael Jackson stuff or something like that, people like will want to like have it. So people will see you as having like something important. They will see it as being like a like maybe a collector's item, basically or something like that. Now if you give somebody stuff like it's like worthless. Like people will
Well,
see it as worthless, basically.
I wouldn't say worthless because now packaging. I'm gonna say recently packaging has been a big shot as far as albums go because recently Taylor Swift's album is a fan art and she's selling it for like $90 now in the terms of the packaging, and she's still selling big in pure sales alone. So
No,
like,
what I'm saying is like, if somebody had that, right,
yeah.
I would not care. Like, cause like everybody, like it's not like rare. Like everybody has it. So like,
Well,
what's
I wouldn't say everybody has it because like physical albums are still like down from when they used to be 15 years ago.
no? I'm saying like it's like when I say everybody has it, right? I mean like a good amount of people.
Okay.
Therefore, like a good like people who are her fans, right? So if somebody had that, right? Today's world, right? I would not care. I would look at it as like it wouldn't matter to me. It would be like worthless to me. So like
What
I think
like in vinyl? Like if you're talking about like in the exclusivity of like vinyl records,
yeah,
like
like cause like bro, like just name a person album from today that you liked. Anybody?
uh
Perception.
You said
oh,
what? I can't hear you.
Ascension.
Perception. Perception by NF.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what he just said.
Perception.
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 By
Yeah.
Who was that by?
NF. NF.
Oh, so let's say somebody had a vinyl of that, right?
Hmm.
It wouldn't like have as much meaning behind it. It would just be like they just have it. There wouldn't be like a lot of meaning behind it, basically,
Why do you think that is?
because it's streaming.
Huh?
Like nobody cares about like if you just see somebody with a vinyl, right? You'd be like, oh, that's nice, cool, like move on. But like if this was like years ago, people would like actually make a big deal out of that, but nobody cares no more.
Because if the a lot of the industry is kind of shifted towards digitalizing everything, so of course you're gonna have a lot of things that are devalued, and and it's not really devalued as far as like people think that it's still worth something. It's just devalued as in like it's not the popular thing,
But like here's what's also interesting, like album covers, right?
right?
Because like a lot of the times, like with today, right? Artists hire like, I mean like when I say artists, I mean like musical artists hire like artists who has to like draw and like do stuff like that to make like their album covers.
Right.
So like that's also an interesting thing, cause like it's not like a lot of times it's not physical, but people like hire like artists online to do like their covers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
So
it's not.
like for like a business side of that, that's like pretty interesting, like how things change. Cause like everything is online now, but like it's also kind of like I feel like a lot of people that do music, they don't necessarily know what's good and what's bad. Cause like there's some people's album covers it's just like terrible Photoshop. That's all like their album cover is. So like they don't really know what's good and what's bad, basically.
And a lot of them, though, they be doing it themselves. A lot of lower budget artists. Not
Right.
everybody can hire somebody. Like, I do all of mine myself because I can't pay anybody to do it right now.
You know I work for free. People I
But
know.
you already do so much, you know. You
I
be
always
having
find
your
time.
own life. You be having your own life, though.
I always find time. There was no point in my life where I didn't find time for what I found important.
what is it that you wanted to do again?
For me,
No, deal.
I'm just saying, like, I make my own, like, album covers, well, my own song covers and all my graphic art because I can't pay anybody to do it for me. So I have to do it myself. And
Okay.
it's the same way with a lot of, like, unknown artists. Like, we really be out here doing everything ourselves because we don't be having the money to pay for it like bigger artists do.
but I would not. Bro, the big here's the thing about it, right? Most of the big artists, bro, they have trash art. That's most of the big artists. Like imagine paying somebody $10,000 to make to like they literally do something on Photoshop that I could do in 5 seconds, and they do a terrible job at it.
To put a question mark in the middle of
And you're
that.
paying like
But
you think it's good, so you're paying them that amount of time, and like guess how much time they actually put into it. That's the part that you don't know.
that's the sad part because
It's
your
like
album
5 minutes.
covers, like your album cover is worth 5 minutes of your time. Like that's sad.
It's like somebody like Kanye, right? On like his collab with Kid Cudi, right? For that album, right? He got like he's always liked Takashi Murakami, right? He's always liked him, so like he had him design like the cover, and like with that, like you can see like that's something special right there.
Hmm.
But I'll share. I'm gonna look it up in screen share. Hold on.
Yeah, the album cover should definitely have something that draws your attention. But so, I don't have a problem with simplicity, but have it like be worth it. Because sometimes your album cover there's the reverse thing where your album cover is like this glorious piece of graphic art, and the contents of it is just utterly either boring or kind of like lackluster. There's a lot of that going around where I'll give you a good example. The cover art to No Guidance with Chris Brown featuring Drake is beautiful. It's one of the most stunning pieces of single cover art I've seen this year, honestly, and that's by any genre I've seen cover art in. However, the content, like the song itself, you can't tell me is decent versus the cover art, which looks extraordinarily good. I promise you, this cover art is beautiful. But like I said, the song itself that is over is not really in comparison to the cover art itself. And there's a lot of that for any artist that you look at.
You said it's not even decent. The
I
song.
say, no, I said it. I know I said it's at least decent in comparison.
Oh,
But the cover art is what's extraordinary about the actual song, in my opinion.
It's like here's the reason why I like this, right? It was hand painted.
Yeah, it's
oh.
beautiful.
So like something
Cuddy
that
always be having good art though. That's
like
something
that's
I
one
expect from
interesting
Cuddy.
thing though.
Day and night.
Like it's actually hand painted. So like he put like work into it. But I gotta take these out. I can't talk.
On cam.
Give me a second. It's about to be disgusting.
Just have to let you know.
All right.
But yeah, I don't mind like a good cover art. I think that's what one of the things that's a good marketing strategy. I think that's always been one of the biggest marketing strategies. Whether it's a digital single cover or whether you had to back in the day buy an actual single, the cover art was always a good marketing strategy to get people's attention.
But I don't see a lot of like new artists with like shocking cover art though. I don't see a lot.
Yeah, a lot of new artists don't really have that much of
I feel like
a
they don't pay attention to cover art. But like what they do pay attention to is music videos.
yeah. Oh, music videos are a huge thing. That's a major thing.
Right.
I would say music videos have become more stellar looking in the past 10 years than they have last decade.
Right.
A good example of like, because my favorite music video director right now is still Dave Myers. Like Dave Myers is so on the next level all the time. He's been the one that's always on the last 20 years. Like for music videos, like um he did a music video I believe. I think he an indie artist, but there's also music videos like Missy Elliott's music videos that he did, where it's just this crazy, bizarre cuts and like visual effects that you're just like, this is kind of weird, but I'm actually enjoying it. It's kind of like that. So music videos have definitely been evolving very rapidly, and that's just one of many big directors that's still doing it.
Mm. Um. Let's talk about this topic. Run the topic. The future of AI.
Oh yeah, automation. That shit about to be something else.
You mean
Well,
the Ross?
Hmm?
Hmm?
It's about man, this automation stuff because it's definitely about to be more. It's about to be more of a thing in the near future, like couple years. Because I've seen tons of videos and stuff on Instagram and Twitter of like fucking drones and robots sliding down
yeah, people
Walmart
doing
aisles and
crazy
shit.
stuff,
Yeah,
doing backflips and stuff,
I seen it.
hopping upstairs.
I think yesterday. I seen a. It was this pizza place that it's this robot that like slowly slides to your table and serve your food to you.
Bro, they even had like the thing like with the hotels where the robot come to your home.
Bro, it's yeah. I haven't seen a single
That's
drone.
weird.
I haven't seen a single drone in Detroit yet. So
I'm dead. They'll be
Uh,
going crazy with that.
when the video game Detroit comes real life, I can't imagine that. That actually freaked me out.
But I don't think Detroit is becoming that. I think Detroit finna become RoboCop, low key.
Oh
Cause
no.
did you like? It's like did you hear about the thing with the private police force?
Yeah.
It's like basically like paying like you gotta like if you have a business right, you gotta pay them to like basically like look over you. Like
bro,
bro, like if you like that's literally like kind of like RoboCop. I feel like that we finna become that. It feel like it.
It's funny that you brought up this topic because I believe Matt Pat just made a video and the title of it is called "Are Humans Obsolete?"
Jesus.
So
But
yeah,
like,
that's funny that you brought this up. 'Cause I was just thinking about. I was just gonna watch that, and then I thought about it. I was on wait, and you brought up this topic. Now I gotta watch the video because I gotta figure out what the heck you're talking about.
it's also like we used to have to like actually like do things like I feel like as life gets more comfortable, we have less of a purpose. Cause like if there's a robot that could do everything for you, like what's like
What's
I feel like that would
what?
get rid of the point of life.
What's the point of you exactly? Yeah.
I mean, humans. One thing that I will say is that we still have a lot of that creativity that we can't. You can't program creativity into a robot as much as you would like to think. That's more organic. You can't really process. Like you can say this is objectively beautiful, but opinions and actually the creative aspect, you can't program that into an AI. It's just not.
I
It's
agree.
not feasible like that.
I mean
What are we
like
talking about?
what you say?
Nani?
What are we talking about?
Maybe if you was listening, I'm playing. We talking about AI.
I had to take care of something because some of us have responsibilities during the day.
That a shot,
We
bro?
talking about AI.
Hey,
What is the topic?
what is basically about AI creativity?
The rise of AI and Amir just said that you can't program creativity into a robot.
I think you look like I think you might be able to though, Loki.
You can, but you
That's
can't. Like the things like machine learning. Say you put a bunch of ideas. It's like some type of AI, and it comes out with some type of art. I think it's been done already, but it still won't be as impactful. No matter, I think, no matter how much you put in that, how much information you put in that AI, as like somebody actually creating art organically.
Cause like here, I think here's what can happen. Here's what's like I think
Your uniqueness of
you can
conscious.
make it do more work than a human being, obviously, right?
right.
Right.
You can make it like think faster than a human being, right? Like problem solve faster than a human being could. It's like a calculator, right? How many people use calculators
Everybody.
to figure out things involving math? If you
Pretty much
create like
everybody.
a machine or like a robot, like they could like do that like way faster than you, like stuff like that, right? So if you're able to like calculate things like faster than a human being, you might be able to problem solve faster than a human being. Therefore, you might be able to create more like creative like problems. If you problem solve for a human being, like what if a robot could solve like give basically like ideas for like how to solve a problem? That's to me that's being creative though. Cause like what if they could tell us how to solve our own problems? Cause like they already have robots that do that. Like as far as like the medical field, right? They'll like robots really diagnose things.
I think it's a creative use, but I don't think it's necessarily make the robots creative themselves.
But as far as like I think like as far as like not necessarily like if you can like if you combine like basically like a robot like mixed with like a human being, like I feel like that's when like stuff will get crazy. Like if somebody figured out how to put like a human brain inside like the robot, so it was like actually an actual person, but like, they were like synced. I ain't even gonna talk about that because y'all get annoying with that.
Sorry, no.
That's a that's a fate worse. That's a fate worse than death. Being
Honestly,
being implanted into a damn robot. You can't die.
honestly.
I mean, the brain still age though, so you got that.
But like, what
Unless you.
if like it's like they're also like finding out about that though. Like, what makes you like age? Like, if they find out how to like, what if they slow down the process? Like, I'm not
I
gonna say stop the process, but what if they slowed it down like a lot?
I guess they're looking at age as some type of disease instead of something that just naturally happens.
It
Interesting.
is a disease though.
Is it though?
It doesn't happen to every species the same way,
That's because we're not the same things though.
but it can be looked at as a disease though. That's an advantage that they have over us.
I
That's
mean,
that I feel like yeah, as humans, the older we get, we more when we get old, we get like weak and fragile. But with like other animals, they get old, they still have like a ton of energy. I mean, like they're not as strong as their
not
younger.
necessarily though. Not necessarily. Some like a lot of animals when they get old, like they get like way more tired. Like they lay around all the time like a dog. Like old dogs usually lay around
And not
So do
do shit.
young cats.
because cats are worthless.
I'm
Um,
dead.
I'm
I mean, you're not wrong.
yeah, I
Hey,
don't like my
I'm a,
cats.
I'm gonna need y'all to chill.
I got a cat.
I don't even like my cats.
Cats are just there to like stare at you. Like what else is his purpose?
They're very, they're very bougie. They're
Is
very.
your cat gonna protect you?
Nah, bro, my dog killed a raccoon this morning.
Right? Would a cat do that?
Nope.
My dog tried to come in the house with a squirrel in his mouth, bro.
But
Yo, that's
I'm
fucked up.
dead.
What's a cat gonna bring you? A cat gonna bring you a rat? That's nasty. You don't want that.
My cats have dropped mouses in front of the house before. It's disgusting.
Nasty.
Bro, a mouse in the house before. It was flinging it around.
It was a lot.
Yeah, was it a lot? I don't think it was a lot, but it was flinging around.
I'm dead.
Nope, I can't have pets. I'd rather have a fish.
But
A fish, bro. Nah, I can't handle
that's
fish.
not exciting though. Like watching like
Fish are more worthless. I can't handle fish.
Yeah, they
right,
have even
you're literally torturing them. Plus, like they have no purpose. Why would you torture something that has
you
no purpose?
only have fish to look at them, bro. They're
Keep
just
them in a
background.
container. They're bumping to the glass. They don't even know what the glass is. Imagine like being like you can't see something and it's like an invisible force field.
I thought about that.
Like imagine somebody made that for humans. Like you kept on bumping into something, but you didn't know what it was.
and then you
Like
fucking
you're just fighting to get past it, but like it won't work.
This is funny. I'm
and
sorry.
then
This is not.
you don't clean the tank, so it start getting all green and shit.
I'm dead.
I
Like that girl from
personally,
Finding Nemo.
I couldn't.
I think I personally
I could.
wanted.
I'm responsible enough to take care of a dog or a cat, but not responsible enough to take care of a fish.
Plus, you gotta pour the water out every day. If the temperature not right, it could kill them.
Yeah.
But
Okay, Abdullah,
they
you
are
I
saying
easily
all
ain't.
this.
replaceable though.
You
I'm not
saying
that.
all this, but what happened to your dorm at CCS?
Huh?
Them boys was swimming in green water at your
Hey,
dorm.
those are mine. So therefore, I was not responsible.
I rather
On your watch, you
personally.
saw it happen.
I wanted a snake.
Right.
I saw him die, but I ain't kill him.
I mess
What?
around and leave my fish in 80-degree weather in an 80-degree room. And
They gonna suffocate.
This is why I want. I want a garden snake. I could deal with that, kind of.
Oh, I thought he said a garden steak. I was like, what?
a snake.
Yeah, garden snake.
I mean, you get strangled, bro. You too skinny to have a snake.
Garden
A garden
garter.
snake? You don't know? Do you know what those look like and how small they are?
Talking about a
God,
garter
you
snake?
like I'm playing.
Yeah, like garden snake. Like I've had one that's like crawled around my arm, but that's about as big as it really gets.
They gonna get rid of his circulation.
Let's look
Yeah, I
up
want those.
let's look up a garden snake real quick. Cause
Garter snake or garter snake?
A garden snake.
a garden or garter.
Wait, yeah, a garden.
Garter. There's no such thing as a garter snake.
Yeah, it's a
You
gar.
stupid.
It's, it's a garter. It's a garter snake.
Why did my teacher tell me it was a garden snake?
I don't know.
I thought it was garden all my life.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
Oh, didn't you have a snake too, Ivan?
Yeah, I had a ball python.
That's a
How
garter
big is
snake.
that?
Let me see.
Yep.
Screen.
Right. This man showed us his phone. He can see.
Only I
Okay,
want.
man. This man.
I kind of want a orange and white one though.
I'm gonna look at how big they get.
Yeah, an orange and white one sound nice. There's a few of those I've seen.
Chill. Garter. Garter snake.
Gator.
Uh,
Mm.
images. Tools. To avoid copyright. If that, we're gonna label for non-commercial reuse. They don't look that big. They look pretty small.
Yeah, they're not really big one. And they don't really bite at all.
Garter snake size. Let's look that
Yeah,
up.
they're pretty like solid. I would never get a boa constrictor. I don't know why anybody in their right mind would get one of those.
Well, here's a baby garter snake. They can fit in the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
Let me. Whoops.
And the adults usually like are big enough to wrap around your arm, maybe. But
So like a baby garter snake could fit inside the palm of your hands.
yep,
So I guess they're not that big.
nope. They're pretty like content creatures. They're not really much of a hassle.
Hmm.
Okay. Wait, so you've had snakes and what else, do you Ivan?
I had leopard geckos and turtles.
Didn't you have an iguana?
I had a water dragon a while ago.
Oh, okay. At one point, I was actually going to ask you for an animal, but I thought about it, I was just like, nah, I don't want
I mean,
one.
you cannot take care of an animal.
After all
Hey,
the stuff I do
I'm
for these
playing.
animals that I don't care about.
I can't take care of no lizard. I can't take no. I can't do that.
I'd rather have one of those than anything than most other things.
A lizard? I don't know.
They seem more interesting. Cause like if you're gonna get an animal that you just watch, it at least has to be interesting. Like you just throw something in there and watch it kill it or something. I don't know.
No.
It's like if you, bro, it's like you got a snake and you feed it mice or something. You get to watch how it lives.
What's the name of them spiders that be living in trapdoors and shit? And then whenever something like get close, oh that junk, that junk.
Wolf,
Yeah, those things.
wolf
Those
spider?
What is
it's a
it called? Trapdoor.
trapdoor spider.
A trapdoor spider. Okay, them motherfuckers.
I don't know
No,
what that is, but don't bring it up, bro.
I can't do no spider.
I
Oh,
don't, I ain't trying to see no pictures of that.
the
Disgusting.
spiders. Oof. No, no. Hairy spiders too. Oh no.
They move
But
so
actually, they
fast.
don't
Like
have hair.
them trapdoor spiders, they move so fast. Like they just your life ain't in a flash.
Oh, bro, come on now.
Yikes. Yikes.
Jesus Christ, them bitches, bro. God.
Nope. Nope. I'm not a fan of spiders. Arachnids don't. No, I don't like it.
Those spiders are wild. Some of they do. Webs. Crazy.
Bro, if one of those even imagine if one of them even touched you.
Panic mode.
Disgusting.
If you go past that shit, we calling on around you. You need to
Bro,
Oh
uh,
my gosh.
I was,
Panicking.
bro, I'm scarred. I'm permanently scarred from that one video, bro. That man came inside his house, bro, and he hit the spider in the back, and the back exploded, and all the baby spiders came out.
What? What?
Deleted
What?
scene from Charlotte's Web.
I'm dead.
I'm dead. Charlotte's Web.
That's probably the scariest thing I ever seen in my life. That
Jesus Christ.
man thought he was finna kill it,
Mm.
bro. Like a million of them came out the back though.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Nature
They
is
make like
nasty.
Bro, I don't know. Like, here's the one thing I don't understand, bro. How are people exterminators, bro?
Yeah.
How are people who?
Exterminators.
They
That's what,
grew up with
bro.
roaches.
You gotta be crazy.
No. I'm glad there are people that are willing to do it because I'm not.
Bro,
Right.
they can keep them jobs though. I don't even. I'm good.
See, look, jobs like that, right? I say that's a job that a robot can do. 'Cause I ain't trying to do
Yeah.
it.
Trying
Yeah. Exterminators and plumbers. Not real. Nope.
Bro, that's
exterminator,
crazy. That's
exterminators, plumbers, pest control. They can have that, especially plumbing.
You
people
Janitors.
that work at the plant.
Plumbers, they man, I don't know how they do that shit. Plumbing, bro, that's the worst.
Bro, it's worse if you
Honestly.
work at the plant.
Ugh.
You
no.
gotta you gotta deal with that like firsthand.
No. Nope. I have a life. It don't revolve around PCs.
Cause my life is better. My life is worth more than trying to clean shit out of a pipe.
I'm better than the waste I give. Nope.
Ew.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
Be better.
Plumbing.
Accept your job. Be noble.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we should still.
they can have that. Also, them factory jobs, you risking your life working in.
Right. Going assembly line.
People die, lose limbs and shit.
Bro, I know somebody who work at the plant, and they said one of their coworkers got both of their legs blown off by mistake, bro. He works at the car plant. He said,
That's not
he
fun.
said one of the machines had fell and like cut both of the dude's legs off, bro.
Damn.
He was 22 years old.
Yeah, my auntie, he had a ankle crush. Matter of fact,
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's damn. That's horrible. That's
Imagine
horrible.
it's
Ah,
terrible.
I'm not like that.
My sister,
That happened a couple of days ago.
my sister had a job like that. She worked at a plant, but she don't she didn't uh she didn't do nothing that dangerous though. All she did was paint nails.
Man, I'm
Huh?
dead.
Paint nails, like it's like I don't know how it's like an assembly line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So she wasn't next to no 3,000 pound piece of metal.
No.
She was next to a conveyor belt.
No, I'm dead.
I can't do that sky them that sky any skyscraper work where you thousands of feet in
Bro,
the
like
air.
window washing?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
I
I'm good
prefer the
on that.
heights.
Bro, why would you even do that though? That's like the why would you be a window washer?
All you connected to is a fucking rope. Like, no, I'm good.
No.
What if that bitch break?
Look.
Yeah, that's it's the oh.
It's good
That,
games.
Like they literally can easily like make a machine that does that.
yeah.
It's like why would you be up in the? But I don't even know how people do that, bro. They must be different. I'll get like if I was up there, I'll just get dizzy and fall over.
They some daredevils. I can't. I can't.
No. That no.
That's like with roller coasters. If there's any type of ride that's only that, and the only thing that's keeping me from falling is a fucking rod or a rope or some shit, I'm good. I need a
Dog, you remember that
whole
one? I forgot where that was at, bro. When like you know the little circular thing that swings you around,
yeah.
yeah.
bro. When it
Oh,
came,
when it came,
Somebody microphone.
somebody microphone.
What
bro,
happened?
There's echo.
There's echo.
the
Uh,
Who's echoing?
Who's echoing?
who's echoing?
I don't know.
Well, all right.
Anyway, but how come it stopped first and it came back? What?
Is it gone now?
I think so.
Okay, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, like when like the little roller coaster, I mean like the little swinging thing, bro, it came off, bro.
Bruh. See,
Look,
bro.
that's why I don't mess with none of that.
Roller coasters. I can remember almost getting decapitated by the Gemini.
Oh my.
Damn.
Yeah, the Gemini. I don't get on the Gemini as much at all.
That old wooden roller
Which one?
coaster.
Bro,
Yeah,
if something is winning, I'm not riding that.
It's
that
2000.
thing. Ain't,
It's
Bro, that
2019. If you still going on wooden roller coasters, there's an issue.
well,
bro,
Riding
my
logs.
back was hurting so bad when I got off.
if you have
No,
nothing to,
bro. The blue streak. We talking about Cedar Point, by the way, audience. The blue streak. I remember my dad talking about that roller coaster messed his neck up from how raggedy it was. So,
So,
Bro, didn't somebody get decapitated too?
no, that was at Six Flags.
I
Bro, I
heard
ain't messing with none of that, bro.
I heard a lot of shit. I heard a lot of incidents happen at Six Flags.
yeah.
Bro, if somebody get decapitated, I'm never going there again.
Well,
Right.
I believe if anybody would have got decapitated, I believe it would have happened on the power tower, where like there was a rumor that a girl unfortunately did not tap her hair, and you know how the power tower goes all the way to the top, and it
Damn.
like
Oh,
makes you, yeah, and you got
I know
two
how that
and
went.
yep, she got pulled by her I think her dreads or
Got
something.
her head pulled off.
You got oh, that's
But
crazy.
if you were
I don't
holding on
think
while
I
it was
sent
pulling
it
like
to
your
the
hair,
chat.
it wouldn't be holding you by your hair though.
I don't know what caught it. Michael, if that is true, I don't know if
That
that's true.
that would only happen if you let go.
That sounds like some Final Destination shit, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, I don't mess with none of those though. I ain't when I see it, I'm like, nah, bro. Cause somebody, bro, cause you gotta trust people too much to ride those, bro. Cause if somebody ain't screw something in right, that's everybody's life.
Right.
Bro, I'm about to send something to the chat in like 2 seconds. I just want y'all opinion on this, right? It's loading up right now.
Duh, but nobody finna be able to see it though.
The Instagram chat. It's not a video. I mean, it's not sound required.
I can see what I can do.
All right.
But yeah,
This joint is
bro, I'm down. I be I love roller coasters, bro, but I don't know.
Bro, no, I don't mess with those, bro.
Not
this,
Not at all.
this isn't even a roller coaster though.
I get on
Oh,
select few. My dad almost lost his hands to that what's it called, the Magnum.
I'm dead.
Yeah, the
oh,
Magnum
I'm
almost
dead.
took his hand, so no.
Bro, that Millennium not the Millennium Falcon, talking about some Star Wars.
I was about
Millennium
I'm
Force.
dead.
The Millennium Force. Me and my brother got on that one. And them seats, bro, them seats are so like I guess they secure, but they look and feel so insecure. Like you're not really it look like you could just fall right out of it.
It's a 3, 2, 1. Ah! Yep.
all right. It went through. This jump was crazy.
It sounds like I stood next to the Millennium Force because I was waiting on someone, and I remember when it said when it said go. The first thing I remember is it sounded like it broke the sound barrier at that point. I don't even know. It sounded like it was that fast. Like it shot up to us,
Bro, I just don't like the feeling of falling.
especially if you're going straight 90 degrees up and 90 degrees down. That's a straight dip with a spin.
No,
Bro,
I'm
imagine
not.
getting angled
I ain't
above
trying to go upside
skyscraper.
down. I ain't trying to fall. None of that.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's it. Got to be a hill or something. I go down or so. I can't go 90 degrees up and back down. That's no.
I mess with Jeepers though.
Oh, that roller. Forgot about that. Forgot about
That
that.
truck goes up, down, and then through a tunnel, and that's it.
That was fun. I actually missed that. Last time I saw that was at the mall that used to be.
I'm dead.
All right, let me see. I found it on Twitter.
But this jump was insane, bro. I don't know who thought of it, but it's not okay.
I'm about to say I hope nothing bad come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh, I seen this. I seen this. This shit.
this junk is buck wild.
Oh no, bro.
No, I'm good.
Bro,
Dog,
like a suicide ride.
right,
Something go wrong on that thing.
bro. Watch when it comes back down. Here you
Bro.
Oh, you could.
go. Swallow your stomach real quick.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
know
even
what's
know.
up. God damn. It's a different type of people.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money.
Mm,
I'm sure I have a heart attack on that.
I'm good on that, bro.
Anyway, let me find something. Okay. We did that. Use of AI, we did that. Reparations, inspired. Okay, let's talk about that though. So recently, what's his name? Bro, I can't even think right now. I think Charlemagne. Charlemagne has like something on YouTube, and recently like Killer Mike was on was on it, right? And then he was talking about that he was basically talking about the idea of reparations, and he was basically saying like what he was saying was like he said like people ask for it, but they don't exactly say what they want. First, like, do you think we should get them? That's my first question. I need my charger.
No,
At this point, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm not
why?
sure.
I don't think so.
I'm on the fence.
Like regarding Charlemagne, what happened?
Man, y'all listen up.
He was
Hold on.
saying.
Let me
He
go
was
take
saying.
my charger.
Charlemagne had a show, and what was the other dude name?
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike was. I guess they was discussing reparations for Black people because
Oh,
we were enslaved for about 200 years.
centuries.
Look, well, let me sit down before I discuss this.
Two centuries worth of reparations. Does anybody really believe that you can do this that quickly? My question, but that's
You
just
said 2 centuries. What are you talking about?
he said
Over
200.
2 centuries.
We were enslaved. We were slaves for like 200 some years before we got out, before we got free, right?
Over that.
Over 200
Yeah.
from like the
Okay.
1600s to like 1863.
Yeah. So
How
two
many generations is that? That's crazy.
That's like
centuries.
that's like
A nice 10 generations easily.
how long is a generation is usually like 20 some years long, so that's like a good 10, 10, 12 generation.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Bro,
imagine
what?
trying to
I
repay
just
back.
put in the worst places.
I mean,
So
I don't think so. Not because of a race. I myself don't really like having money given to me for free. Like I didn't work for it, so
But that's not like that was what he was talking about though. Like he asked like hold on, let me sit down before I talk about this. Let me plug this in first. I'm sorry.
I think reparations would be like rebuilding communities.
that's what I would do.
That's that's what I would want.
That's what I would think too. Because yeah, we getting money, but what do we don't know. I feel like money should be our money. Like reparations should be put more into better things than our pockets, like the community and education in Black communities.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
say money necessarily. I would even involve like just building up areas and like the sources of things need to be rebuilt and like infrastructure needs to be like changed. Those are just minor things, but money, just giving money will not do you much if it's not gonna go towards what it needs to.
So like yeah, that was the one of the things he talked about. Like he said like people say like they asked him like they don't exactly say what they want. Cause like if you say you just want like a reparations, a person can give you like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was to say yeah, because
What is
reparations could be more than just money.
it could be anything. So like
I think I saw a
before
clip.
you said what?
I think I seen a clip of the video that you talking
Yeah,
about on
I
Instagram.
said this. But like I think that yeah, like definitely like like I think like people should think about like what they want before like they ask for it. 'Cause, like I think it was like Bernie Sanders or something, right? And then he asked like what like because like they asked him like about reparations, right? And he basically asked the question, right, of like he basically said I don't know, right? Basically saying I don't know because like I don't know what anybody wants. But people got mad at him for saying that though.
Well, nigga, what you want? The fuck?
Like that's what he was basically saying. That's what Killer Mike was basically saying. Like what do we actually want? Because like the question of like whether we should get them or not, I think we should. Because like everybody else got something. Literally everybody else got something.
Really? I didn't. Who else got any? Who else got something?
I know Jewish people got some.
Jewish people did.
Yeah.
They're trying to do with the Native Americans. They're trying.
Native
You
Americans,
know they can basically go to college free.
Native Americans, they can go to college free, damn near.
but
That's
bro,
as far as I know.
but how many of them actually exist
I
though?
feel like they're
I've
a
seen
they could
mixed
be.
They
people.
still exist, of course, but like, I never seen one in person.
I've seen
I've
one.
only I've only known like people who are mixed with it, but I
Yeah,
never seen like a
I never seen
breed.
a purebred Native American.
I've only
I've
seen
seen.
one person in my entire life.
Yeah, I've only seen one ever.
Never seen one.
Like that's like well that's crazy though. Like an entire race of people.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like seeing a dinosaur for the first time. It's just like wow. Like
Bro, that was not a good analogy, bro.
Yeah, that wasn't a.
That was a terrible
Oh,
analogy.
You
it's
right.
no. But I'm just saying that's the rarity of it. It's just like you don't see a lot of full breds just walking about as you would think,
Wait,
especially in the city that we live in. You can't really say that.
this man said it's
I mean,
like seeing a
because they all
dinosaur.
got put
Bro,
to the
stop.
other coast. I feel like if you were in like California, you would have a better chance of finding them, or
Yeah,
like Virginia, or somewhere over there.
I
yeah,
don't
that's
know,
true.
bro. I don't
But
even know.
since we put it that way,
If you think about like if you think about Manifest Destiny, like we started from New York and we went to the other side of the country and we were wiping them out as well. Not we, of course,
You
but
said
All right, listen.
the colonizers
they,
were like pushing them to the other
yeah,
seaboard. So if you go to like Nevada and Utah and like what else is over there?
Probably like
Arizona.
I would say like maybe like a New Mexico or Colorado or something. I don't know. I could see that.
Yeah, like somewhere over there, they'd probably be a
Southwest,
lot more common.
yeah, Southwest.
Yeah, yeah. But like this side of the state, this side of the country, it's gonna be really rare because they
Like
would have
I would think like it
came.
would be in colder places though. Like you would see some in colder places though.
Why do you say that?
I don't know,
I don't. Either way, since it's put that way, we should get. I feel like we should, but at the same time, like
but we
it,
should just know what we're asking for.
yeah, it shouldn't just
yeah.
be money.
Cause I
I
feel
feel
like
like
I
it
feel like
should
it
be
should be
like reformation, like DPS should be reformed. Like public
like
schooling in general should be
I don't think.
reformed.
But I don't think that we should like Here's the thing about that, right? I think like I see it as this as far as like schooling. Of course, education is terrible, but like I see it as being like I think that's something that the community could fix if it wanted to. But the community, like, if there's no sense of community, it doesn't really matter. Like, certain things don't like really matter. Like, the first thing you need in order to like make education better is like a sense of community. Because like if you don't
That
really
can
have
come
that,
from
nobody
schooling.
cares.
That can come from better schooling though.
It can, but like I think maybe something like that, or like because he was talking like
Like
basically
the
like ownership.
curriculum that we learn, we're getting taught. Like I've only had like 4 black teachers in my entire life, and none in college so far. And not only that, but we're learning like we only learn about white history for real. It is really rare that we learn about any like era of Black history other than the civil rights movement.
That just
If
But
reminds
we
like,
be,
here's the thing about that though. Here's the thing about that, right? So
and
like, what,
even
what exactly?
then,
What
we only
exactly?
hear about like 4 or 5 people from the civil rights movement, and that's it.
Like,
We
what
hear
exactly is
about
that asking
we
for?
hear
Like,
about
you're
Martin,
saying,
Rosa, Malcolm, and that's basically it. Harriet Tubman, that's basically it.
but like, my question is like, what exactly is that asking for though? Like, you're saying more money be put into like schools?
I'm saying the curriculum should be changed
Okay,
to
like, what if
better
we
to better
like?
reflect the community that's being taught. Like we literally only be learning about Black history for 1 month
But I
out
don't
of the
like.
out of the 9 that people go to school.
So let's say like the curriculum gets like changed, right? Like that would also mean that it would have to be changed in other places too. Like if the
Okay,
curriculum get
great.
changed, right?
Yeah,
Like also the thing, right? What if you don't have like the funds, but you have like you have certain curriculum, right? But you don't have like certain programs.
like what?
Like what if we have better curriculum, but people aren't interested in what the like it's like people aren't really interested in it. Like I think like programs, like things like programs, it's like what makes people like when people like actually get to do something hands on and see something that they like. I think that's what makes people interested in things. I don't think because like what if you get better curriculum, but like your teacher just boring, then like it won't matter to you.
I don't know.
I see that. But how
Like
would you get people to join into those programs? Though?
I
That's
think if you
another
make
question that
programs that
you got.
people actually want, like what he was actually talking about, he was
But it's
talking
not
about
just about making something that's actually wanted. You have to make it appealing. Like you can be interested in something like Star Wars Club, but never go for it because it's unappealing. So you would have to market it and brand it in a
but
certain
like
way.
here's what I'm saying. Like I think like I was saying like I think something like that would be like too like because like every
I
like
just said that in general.
imagine every place in the like how many places like this are in the country, right? Like everything that would be very like that would be very specific, which would take like a lot of time to do because every place would want something different, probably. Like here's what I'm saying, right? Because he was talking about the idea of ownership, right? Owning land. Like he was talking about the idea of like gaining land. Cause like if you got land, right, you're able to do what you want on it. You're able to like build. You're able to like invest. Like you're able to have people like go to like your homes that you built. They got to pay you. So I think like having ownership in some type of company that provides like longevity and a good amount of like basically money and longevity will be useful. And I think like it's the community's job to like well like I think it should be like the community's job. The community should try better in order to like make um kids interested or like kids like making kids know about certain things. Because I don't think like it's like that depending on the government to do that, right? They haven't done it yet, so I think like you shouldn't just wait for the government to do something. You should like have some form of community that could do that without the government being like. You don't have to like listen to the government like every single step of the way, because like you're gonna be waiting your whole life if you do that, low key.
That's why I don't vote. So,
Capper. You don't vote for real.
but that's not why. But you have to think about how many people though. You can't just say give like land to everybody because there's too many people for that to happen. And if everybody has land, then the value in that land would go down because everybody would have it. Nobody would want
I'm
to
not
buy it.
talking about everybody have like different land. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody like have like a like basically like a part like basically like everybody like has a part of something. Like the only thing about that is like people don't like to work together. Like that's the major problem. Like why like people can't succeed because people don't want to work together. That's like the major problem behind it. Because like if people were able to work together, plus you got that type of reparation, you'll be able to make it actually useful. Like the only problem is that people don't like to work together, and that's something that has to be like put in the community. It does a sense of community. People will be more likely to work together, but there isn't. So therefore, people don't.
That's
Everything
one of
about
the things that you can put inside of the new curriculum while you're reforming it.
bro,
Is
like
more group oriented work so people
bro.
get used to
I don't
working
think
with different types of people.
I don't think that's gonna like I don't think that's gonna work. Cause like better curriculum, right? Who makes that curriculum?
The Board of Education.
And who's above them?
The federal government.
That's my point right there. Like if you do something like that, right? Making like because like if you work, just say working in groups, right? A lot of times when you work in groups, right? People like a lot of people don't like that. It's like working in groups doesn't necessarily build a sense of community. A sense of community because like the government isn't like they control your community, but they're not really directly involved. Like they're not really those people aren't in your community. I feel like the people that actually live there have like a responsibility, which is not like being like done.
All right.
I
So
feel,
then, how do you propose that you give the skill of working together with people? Because
because I think people have to like
if you don't like build a foundation early on inside somebody's life, it's going to be harder for them to adopt it. That's why you can't teach old dogs new trick. You got to teach them while they're
like
young.
that's what I'm
If
saying.
you
But I
work
think
on assignments from the time you're 8 to the time you're 18, you're going to be good at working with other people. It
but
doesn't matter if you like
I
it or
don't think
not.
that necessarily can be like
It doesn't
taught
matter
by
like
curriculum though.
I'm saying like it should start like that's something that can be taught in a school. And
But
I think it'd be worth it to teach that in a school is how to work with other people.
it
And that's
can
something
be.
you
But I
do
think I
exposure.
it can be. But I feel like it first has to be taught in the community before it's taught in like because like let's say like once you leave like that school like people don't really like care about like what happens in school anymore once they leave. I think it has to be taught in the community first. Like it's like with schools, right? Like I said like on like previous podcasts, like the same exact thing I said like the school is hooked up with local businesses, right? Local businesses like they share like their products with the school, right? And like in return, like people go to their businesses and buy things. I think stuff like that like forms a sense of community. Like in those businesses saying like, okay, like you guys are in like high school, you guys are in middle school, we need workers, right? Therefore, you guys already have jobs, so you guys have things to do. And I think like even like seeing people that you look up to like local sports teams, right? Seeing those people like people don't think like there's literally people that people think are like untouchable, like a LeBron James or like the like your star on like your local basketball team or something like that. Like you think people like that are unreachable, but if like you just have like a screen in the classroom and that person even like FaceTimes or like Skypes like this classroom, that's a big thing. I think people need to see people that they look up to, and I also think like people need to like join together, like find a way, like how can like we combine these two things. I think like doing like things like that will like make people have a better sense of community and therefore be able to like work together. Cause like the community, like if you have a broken community, right? Like it's hard to like you can change certain things in the community, but like it's hard to change the people.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta come at it from different angles.
Right.
I
But I
think
think
it's
as far
I
as like a
think that's
reparations
the bottom
thing, like that
line.
would be that would be like too hard to do because like every place like there's like a lot of places in like this country every place might want something different because like not every place in the country works the same
Yeah,
because some people have different problems that we have.
that's true.
It's a pretty.
That's why I don't really believe in centralized government to this extent. Because Detroit and Los Angeles do not have the same needs. I'll say that 1,000 times.
Right.
We shouldn't have the same ultimate power over us. It doesn't make sense to me personally. But that's a topic for another day, I think.
Yeah.
That's a pretty complex topic.
Yeah, but I think like
Exactly.
everybody needs to have sit down and have a meeting about that though. Like that's what he was saying. Like he says like we need to like have a meeting where multiple people like basically decide like where everybody gets to pitch in. Like the only thing is like people don't like to like collaborate, so like that meeting will probably never be held unless people like stop like thinking for them like just like being like for themselves.
Humans are
And like
stubborn.
imagine the arguments that would come from that meeting.
Humans
Cause
are
I'm pretty sure
stubborn,
somebody
conceited
would say like, oh, we
fools.
should get money.
Humans are stubborn, conceited fools who only care about themselves.
Because I'm pretty sure somebody would do that though. Like somebody would say, "Oh, we should get like this amount of money." Because definitely like that would like I don't know. Ugh, man.
I just don't want money given to me just straight for no reason. Like I didn't do shit. Like okay,
So I feel like you have to teach people how to use money. Like it's better to teach somebody how to make it
how
and
to
to
make
use it
money and
than to
yeah,
just give it to them.
here take this, go buy ice cream or something. No,
Because like people are just gonna blow it, bro.
because they're not smart.
Cause like if there's people that would like you know when somebody makes a video like a rich person or something, and they say like, do you know how easy it is to blow $1 million?
It's really easy.
Right, like stuff like that, man. Like I think you need to teach people how to use it, how to make it.
Yeah.
Um.
Was that it? Was that everything?
Okay. The only other thing we had was a Cuban Gooding Jr. thing.
Oh yeah. Some out of nowhere news.
Right.
Cuba Gooding Jr. I guess he got like some type of uh guess he got some type of sexual assault issue right now.
It says grouping allegations.
Yeah, groping allegations.
Basically, like they said he was in. I think they said some type of restaurant or something. I forgot.
Oh, breaking news. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s attorney says surveillance video exonerates actor.
But
He might be in the clear.
Cause he didn't
everybody
he say he
lies
didn't do
your
it.
FaceTime. Everybody who lies your FaceTime, don't at me. You can't change my mind. If you try and lie on somebody,
He done got old. Holy shit. He looks really old for 51. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna
You know
lie.
where? What picture?
This one, hold on. This one
like,
right
don't
here.
crack.
He don't look that old.
You
He
look.
look his age.
He look. He's 51. I seen. He's 50. I've seen. He look like he kind of in his like late 50s. Though. He look like a little bit older than he is.
Oh, what you say?
He look a little bit older than he is. He looks like in his late 50s
Not really.
I say mid 50s.
to me. But everyone gets older.
I give late 40, early 50.
He looks about just his age.
Well, he's
Oh yeah,
51.
50.
He's 51. So Cuba Gooding Jr. charged with misdemeanor forcible touching. Apparently that was a lie.
You sure to mute
Was
that
he
audio?
posting on YouTube?
We don't need a copyright strike.
See,
Maybe that was only like a second long. CNN. We're gonna go on CNN. Try to avoid CNN, but whatever.
That dude Eddie Bravo's still gonna be dead. CNN.
Unfortunate grouping incident. It's like
Bruh. Cuba Gooding Jr. has been charged with forcible touching, a misdemeanor, and sex abuse in the third degree relating to an alleged groping incident last weekend in New York City. Gooding voluntarily surrendered to the NYPD for questioning on Thursday and pleaded not guilty to the charges in a Manhattan court. God damn it. The actor was released on his own recognizance after the judge set the next court date for June the 26th. Gooding has been very cooperative with police and expects to be fully exonerated, his attorney, Mike Heller, said during a conference. In quote, in my 50 years almost of practicing law, I have never seen a case like this one because there is not a scintilla of criminal culpability that can be attributed to Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. After I have extensively with my staff reviewed the videos of almost 2 hours which reflects the entire event for which we are here today, Heller told reporters. So I guess the woman lied.
she should get time.
I agree.
Well,
Bro, I don't understand that though. It's like, bro, like,
She thought she was gonna get it back.
right? Like people act like that don't happen though. People be acting like that never happened.
Mhm.
Because the person do that, they should get the time of the person would have got if they got
Exactly.
convicted.
Exactly.
They need time for wasting time.
Yeah. Plus, you could the potential of ruining someone's life just because you want
Right.
to, just because you felt like lying today.
Like if you went in jail, like that's like your life right there.
Right.
That's time that you can never get back. I don't even think the person can get time. They should just get smacked.
What?
How about both?
A little smacking. Everybody take turns.
Everybody on the jury gets one slap. Oh,
The suspect gets an additional 3 slaps.
Oh, they should get that 100 slap combo.
they should just get. They should be able to just go until they're happy again. It's like,
Backhand too. Make sure you get the
oh, yeah,
knuckle in there.
got a knuckle up.
Bitch.
But that's crazy though, cause like this, like didn't the same thing happen? I forgot his name already, cause I don't watch no soccer.
Yeah,
Um,
you just sent it in the Instagram chat.
I thought that
I see. Yeah,
bull crap.
that was some bullshit.
How she gonna jump on top of him and then start slapping him?
right. What's
When he
wrong
Oh,
with
trying
you?
to tell her to get up,
that's news to me. What?
bro.
I don't know.
What was his name? My, I got the worst headache right now. Oh,
Don't know what happened, guys. Hold on.
I see it.
Okay, I was hoping
I'm
it
dead.
was one.
I don't know what happened. They got kicked off the call.
No, you didn't. But you blurred your background.
The fuck? Hold
That's what it appears. Okay, now you're fine.
on. Okay, we're back, guys. See if I
So with that said, is there anything else open for discussion right now?
While I look up this video.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. 2 days ago, bro, my ears started hurting, bro. Currently, I'm having an earache. It's the worst, one of the worst things ever. Ruin your day, ruin your life.
I am happy about some other news that I found out.
I hate you, upload.
I'm good.
Here we go.
Breaking news: Dwayne Johnson has been casted to play the Boulder in season 2 of the last Airbender series on Netflix.
Y'all saw that.
Here's
So
I saw it
here's
on
the
somebody else's page. I didn't know if that was
actually,
real or not, but I guess it is.
that is
No,
not a bad idea.
it's a joke though.
Oh,
I would
It was
actually not have a bad. That would not. I would not have a problem with that personally.
I would kind of like that.
Yeah, I was
The
like,
Rock playing.
that's not a bad casting choice.
All right, so we got. I get the soccer ball player is well, football player, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. His name is Neymar Jr. But yeah, here's the video.
That sounds right. Bro, she jumped on top of him, then started slapping him.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Damn you. Is there audio?
I hope not.
yeah, in that one there was, yeah. Wait, is that a different page though?
All you're gonna
Oh,
hear is the sound of yelling,
same
screaming, and
same page.
Oh, never mind. I don't know.
uh,
The
There we go. Yeah, he just starts hitting her for no reason.
oh, my foot would have went. Oh, never mind.
Right, he plays soccer too. You know his legs strong.
Oh,
I
was
gotta
that
do
it?
is put her. I gotta do is put her in a chokehold. Shit like that happen. So
Bruh.
Mm.
The unconscious mind. I played.
I personally could no.
Oh, bro. No.
Yes,
Some
no,
these
that's not how that would go. I would have
some
had to
some people on this planet are just evil like that, man.
citizens
Well, that
arrest.
wasn't again time. I'm about to be mad. They probably didn't though.
He says citizens arrest. That's what I'm holding. Citizens arrest.
Bruh.
I'm dead. Imagine this dude a bitch trying to hold somebody down.
Could you
I'm
not?
dead.
Could you not do that?
Hey, nigga, chill.
Good.
That shit would be funny. I ain't gonna lie.
I imagine him trying to hold him down in the car and never slap him.
That's what handcuffs are for.
Oh, dude.
He said, "Why?" He said, "Why you trying to hit me? I'm gonna handcuff you to this chair. I'll see you tomorrow."
Whoa, that's that's a kink.
He said, "Why?" He said, "Why? Why you sit over here and try to hit me from this chair? I'm gonna let you sit right there, and I'll be back with the police tomorrow or tonight if they show up."
Oh, dude. How you gonna handcuff them when you got a head in your face?
Ah! So I actually imagine that's the terrible part about I actually imagine this.
Yo, my dog just killed a raccoon in the backyard.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Who should?
Who should?
Come on now.
What,
That sounded like a Street Fighter move, what you just said.
I'm dead. How do okay?
But I'm excited because of one of my favorite artists. Well, at least I would hope that she's getting her for just dues right now.
You said what? What news?
No, I was saying I'm excited because I heard word about one of my favorite artists finally getting her just dues based on the information I'm hearing. Because it's terrible right now. So basically, the record label that known as YG, which is one of the big three labels in the industry over there, he finally is stepping down.
Over where, sir?
You know, the Korean industry. I'm
People
excited.
don't know.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. In the South Korean industry, I'm glad that one of the top three record label CEOs and founders, he's being taken out of power right now. Thank God, because he's in a bit of an assault, and I think that he knows that he is in a bind because now he has a drug allegation against him. His company is in the biggest slump it's ever been in the past 20 years. It's falling behind profits. It's losing money. It's losing revenue. I believe Gucci pulled out of their stock sales, and then you had the scandal with one of his artists that I already told you
This
about.
man ain't saying no names. He's gonna say his.
So I can't tell you his name because I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's the YG Entertainment founder. He's being canned, and his brother, who he lent the company to, is also stepping down. So I believe the company's going down, and I'm glad because they do this thing where I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. That's an artist, where they put them in this limbo, and then you won't hear from the artist, so they can't release any music until
That's
like
probably
6
Abel's
years
fault.
later. Like, for example, I'll give you a good example. Dave Myers, who I told you about, was one of my favorite directors. One of my favorite artists, CL, she shot a video in 2016 that she had to leak onto her Instagram in 2018, and they still haven't released the full thing, and it's been a year later. So,
Bro, you know that's labels, period, though.
but he was like, Dave Myers was just like, I've never had an artist that I shot a video for where that video that I shot 3 years ago is still not out. He was like, I've never had to deal with anything like this before. You said what?
That's because you don't involve yourself in shady businesses.
Yeah, but that's not even her fault or his fault. That's the label.
Did she read the contract?
And the fact is, it's not even the weird part about it is that it's not even like a video that's supposed to be shot that's supposed to be released over there. It's supposed to be released here in the U.S. This is a video supposed to be released in the U.S. and she's partnered with Republic Records, which is the same record label that's headed over Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, and I believe Drake. If I'm not mistaken.
That might make it even more complicated. Though,
Oh man, I got a question for you though.
Huh? I'm
Did
sorry.
you read the contract?
She did. But this is a
What
contract.
happened then?
But this contract is a bit different. This is one of those contracts where like you're part of one of the top 3 labels in your entire country, and this is a label that you might not say that, because I'm trying to think of it in the best way possible to give it some leeway. So this label, it has a lot of clout. It's in the top 3 of its country, and it's always bringing in top revenue amongst all of its peers. Of course, you're going to stay in it, but when you
Why would you do that? Why would you sign to the top label in your country? Of course, they're gonna only care about certain people. Therefore, certain people are gonna get dirty.
She started off 10 years ago. She did this a long time ago. This contract is spanning over years, so you can't.
Did she read the contract?
Of course she did. But at the time,
she should have known, man.
But you can't deal with this contract knowing that you're dealing with a record label that, in comparison to the other labels that I've researched, this is a better contract. But now that we're talking about in this time frame, now we're in 2019, where the way that music is being put out and things of that nature, it's not the same. And so, of course, as a business strategy, you have to change up your ideas on how you release artists.
But if you read the contract, you should know what they can do and can't do. And if they do it, then you know like that. Like if you sign the contract, that's what you signed up for.
It depends on how old you are when you sign this contract too, and how good your lawyer is at that time. Because if I'm not mistaken, she was like.
But whose fault is it truly though?
I wouldn't say it. If you're an artist like that. Period. It's for any record label. If you're that age, then you really have to have a lawyer that knows what they're doing, is paying attention. Because
how old are they?
At the time that this happened, they were like 17. She's like 20, she's like 28 now.
Okay, that's not generally old. There are people like artists that were like way older than like in their 50s and 60s that got basically like did dirty by their labels before that. So how come like it's like an example type thing? If you see it happen to people before, like why fall for the same trick?
I think that it's sad that it's happening to an artist that doesn't have anything to show for it. They don't even have any material out as a solo artist, and they barely have anything to show as in a group of only 2 albums. And you've been around.
I don't even know who you say you forgot their name. We don't even know who you're talking about.
Now the name of the founder of the label. I'm talking about the artist. That I was just talking about, CL, the same person that had the music video held up for the past 3 years that never got released. So yeah, 2 albums for your group, and then you go solo. You don't have nothing to show for it, like no solo music, no album. It's just you've been in the same bond for 11 years. This reminds me of JoJo here when she had to like not be when she was forced to basically find a new career because of her JoJo. You know that singer JoJo?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, she had to. They was telling her you might not be able to get this contract, so you might have to find a new career. That's crazy. And she barely got out because of a loophole, because of how old she was. That was the only saving grace of that contract, and she found that out 8 years after her label did her dirty, which is crazy. So it's funny how
for a different career.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" So you're telling me that the contract is in such a bind, I don't own my own voice, so I have to find a new career. That is crazy. That is so.
That's why Prince had to change his name, because his label was playing around. He became the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
Bro.
He had to change his name.
Oh, that's simple.
But how do you own that name though? Like that's like it's too common to like. I feel like certain things are too common to be owned.
That's a trademark. When when you're a musician who releases music on that caliber, your name is trademark. Like there can never be another artist named Drake because the Drake we know is too famous.
Yeah,
if that's really
SE on the end.
Yeah, you gotta do something else like
Drake.
Exactly. And like when he signed to his label, his label had trademarked the name Prince. So when he tried to leave the label, he had to make a new name up to like keep doing music because he signed away his name.
I remember that. Yeah, I almost forgot about that incident. That's crazy. That's sick.
Yeah.
Mm.
That explains why he said that the nameless symbol, was his trademark now, which is
Yeah.
yeah,
But nobody knew how to pronounce that because he made it up.
yeah. He made it up. But it's yeah, I've heard of some instances like this, like what I said with JoJo, with CL, with a lot of older artists that are here. Record labels have you in such a bond that it's so sickening.
That's why I'm starting one, not joining one.
Yeah. But hopefully, like I said, the label is finally crashing down hard enough with his image and his revenue that it can finally let her, let go of her as a solo artist. Because this is just so sickening and so sad to the point where I personally just wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy as a music artist.
That's why I'd rather start my own label too, instead of just. Mm-mm.
It's the only bad thing about that though. If you want to start your own label, bro, you gotta be able to pay your artists, which is a lot.
Yeah. And the
True.
funny thing is, the founder of that label was an artist.
Wow.
And I knew the game. I'm
That's the
playing.
funny. Like, that's what killed me about this. I'm just like the
So
founder of your label was an artist before they was a record label.
This man Amir knows so much about them.
What do you
I, can,
know about us?
I know that
I probably can't talk for the rest of this podcast because the whole right side of my face is hurting right now. I'm gonna take a little 5 minute break from talking.
no, but this is just based on my what I researched and what I figured out and what people tell me. So I've figured stuff out based on some research and what I've heard from people that actually know something about what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, like I said, that was just news that I was glad to hear when they said that he was stepping down and his brother, who was the president, was stepping down because I was able to breathe happily.
are you alright? You alright?
Uh,
I need you to like not die on us like last time.
Right,
I'm having
bro.
some
You disappear for
100% pain, bro. The whole side of the whole right side of my head just hurt. I can feel it in the top of my head. I can feel it in my ear. I can feel it in my jaw.
You try to clean your ears out.
Yeah, like it's like I don't think that was a problem. I think like I don't know, man.
bro.
What you
Go
saying?
to like,
I don't know
bro.
why I keep getting kicked
You
out.
know,
The god, I keep getting kicked out the goddamn call.
and your background blurred again.
I don't know what that is, brother. Sorry, audience.
Mine did that too. I don't know why. Before.
Yeah, that kaleidoscope view.
Oh shit.
Yours is like that now.
Oh, it
Abdullah.
is.
I
Whatever.
think all three of y'all on blur right now.
All three of y'all.
We gonna edit that
Oh,
out.
dude.
Oh, I forgot about that.
All three of y'all.
We gonna edit that out. Yeah, we gonna edit that
But
shit out.
Abdullah, to touch back on what you said earlier, it's low key easier to start a label now more than ever because all you really need to do is publish the music for them, and a lot of the time royalties from the song being streamed from like playlists and ads and all that is going to add up to the revenue the artist would end up getting a lot of the time.
But like, what about like also like being like known? Cause like I feel like when people usually sign in labels, like they like the person has to like have like a good amount of clout, basically.
Yeah, that's why you get a lot of these artist foreign labels. Or another way to do it is somebody from a label, like somebody who signed to I guess Sony Records, they would leave and then start up a label, and it would be something like that.
It's like
That's
when
the second main way, and then the third main way is like you have a manager, like you're a small group of artists, and you have the main manager.
right
The third way,
didn't
and
what's
then
his name from
what's up?
QC? What's his name? P.
Who?
From like QC, like he run that label, like P or something. I forgot his name.
I'm unfamiliar with him.
Well, man,
Yeah.
cause he basically like, cause like basically like he discovered like Migos. Basically, I mean he didn't discover them like when Migos like Migos signed to him. Like a lot of people, different people signed to him, but like it didn't like start like it became like bigger over time. Or
Yeah.
like when like somebody like Gucci started their like own label.
You, s-
That's an
you
example of
said
like an artist starting a label.
you said when Gucci started the label?
Yeah, 10, 17.
Oh, I didn't know he had one. I don't pay attention to Gucci now for not since he got back out. So
But that man made the biggest transformation ever.
he did though. He
That
went
man
in
cleaned his
stupid.
life up.
He went in stupid, bro. But he came out a
I
new
won't
man.
say that. I ain't gonna do something dirty like that.
Bro, you seen the Bar Smokey video? That man sounded like his brain was fried, bro. And that Bart Smokey thing. He had like this chain of Bart Simpson, and
Yeah,
he
Bart.
had put
Man.
it up to his. He had put the blunt up to the Bart Simpson's lips. And he was like, "You smoke, you know, like, Bart
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Smokey." I was like, "Dog, this dude is gone." He got out of jail,
Oh.
bro. He was speaking so properly. I'm like, "What happened?" His whole body changed, bro. Man got in shape.
That man changed his whole mindset.
Right.
That's crazy. That's the irony. Jail was the best thing that happened to him,
Right. Low key.
Bro, I
physically
feel,
and mentally.
bro, I feel like there's so many of my favorite artists that's in jail right now.
I'm dead.
The man, this dude Kodak, bro. Man, dog. It's like it just be finding him.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah.
Shaking my head, bro. Let it
All
go.
that 6ix9ine,
Yeah, what happened with
TK.
what up? 6ix9ine in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, like he got a hearing coming up in like I think September,
No, I'm about to say I thought he
and then
snitched.
somebody else got to tell. I don't know.
I was about to say
Everybody telling.
I thought he snitched or something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
Everybody telling.
He sent some the whole game.
Right. That man, bro. He should have low key known that though. Bro, he should have known that was gonna happen. You can't just leave them. If you leave them,
Right.
bro, of course they gonna try to kill him. He tried to leave him.
Bro.
Plus, he left them too late too.
Oh
This
man.
man got, bro. It got like this man had to get kidnapped and everything to learn that,
Bro.
bro. I don't
Naive.
understand how you don't know that though. Of course, like you like basically like the figurehead in the group, bro. Cause this man ain't did none of this stuff. Like he just had the people do it for him. Like how do you not know like what role you play? They was only around him because he had money. Why else would they be around him? Like just look at this man, bro.
Because he make good music. Side off.
Yeet. Anyways, how long have we been
That man
streaming?
was funny though. Things did get boring.
Been
That man was
streaming.
entertaining.
Been streaming for almost 2 hours, guys.
Gotta get ready too.
What?
I gotta go get ready for a graduation party.
Oh, okay. So I want to call it a podcast.
Bro, because like, bro, my brain not working no more. I'm in pain.
I'm dead.
Oh,
Where did Amir go?
That man disappeared.
He got us in the
into
dark.
the void.
He went into the dark, the sunken place again.
Dude.
Stop it.
Bro, wait, hold on. I just gotta take a moment, right? Remember, bro, Vernon, you remember we were watching like the little Tyler the Creator show, and
Yeah.
I said this dude, bro, look at the mirror right now.
I'm dead, bro.
Tell me you thought. Tell me I'm lying, bro.
I hate to judge a dick that.
He
Look at the way this
dressed
nigga
like that
dressed right
nigga.
now.
He dressed like him too. I'm dead.
Bro, tell me I'm lying.
The hat.
I knew there was some similarity. Like I don't know.
Not as charismatic, but
This man got that same head shape. No, hold on, bro. For the people of the podcast, man, I'm gonna do something for y'all.
How you got no disrespect though, homie?
No, this is just facts.
Hey.
Tell me he do not dress like him, bro. This man. But we gonna compare the head shape. Let me screen share.
The disrespect, I ain't gonna stand for it.
But Amir, get back on camera, bro. Compare that head shape, bro.
Oh god. This man ears.
But they both wear they. I don't know.
I ain't gonna stand for this disrespect.
You just got. I don't know what just happened. You just got kicked out.
I cannot do.
All right, now who? Y'all playing?
I ain't gonna stand for the disrespect.
He really said, dog. I'm dead.
Time out.
He did look like him though. I can't even lie.
I'm fucking. I'm dead.
Oh man.
It's like that dude. How that dude? That dude Justin Lee Peterson, Robbie the Ivan. No, I don't know. It's something about him.
This dude trying to cook today.
That's amazing. That's funny. My stomach hurt now.
Y'all play too much.
Show me what's work on.
Oh,
Masterpiece.
I'm dead. Oh, shit. Just the level of troll.
Honestly.
Them niggas, both y'all niggas are troll. That shit hilarious.
Oh, I thought somebody got kicked off again, bro. For a hot second.
But yeah, like that was the last topic we had to talk about. So,
Fuck was that?
Huh?
what in the world?
I clicked the button because I didn't know what it did, and now I found out.
What is that
Hey.
laugh?
Anyways, all right, YouTube. That's the end of our podcast. If you liked it, please be sure to subscribe and check out our social media at FWC Cast on Instagram and Twitter. So
Spice God.
this is your boy Vern, and I'm out.
Boy, Dark Man. My.
Walking out.
It's
Yeah, I'm out.
it's D Hawk. We on.
Did he change shirts?
He did.
Make sure you took the head off.
This dude was wearing green like 2 seconds ago.
All right.
Oh, dear.
Oh shit. All right,
This man got
YouTube.
his head on his head.
All right, YouTube. This is FWC. Yeah. I'm out. All right, YouTube. This is FWC Cast, and we're out.